Good evening. This is Business Today on Channel I. On this program, we talk about business, entrepreneurship, and many insightful topics with high-profile individuals. So keep tuning in to today's episode as well, where you can learn much more. So this is Business Today. Today we're here to discuss CBL Ceylon Biscuits Limited and also CA Sri Lanka's Best CFO Award recipient and what it takes to get to that position. So we have with us the General Manager Finance of CBL, and we're going to discuss many insightful topics. And to know more about who this particular individual is, let's take a look at the character profile.
Daham is a senior C-suite executive with over 20 years of progressive blue-chip business experience specialized in finance and supply chain. He has proven success in delivering outstanding commercial results for leading Sri Lankan and multinational organizations. Daham possesses a high-caliber management and strategic planning skills, strong commercial acumen backed with deep understanding of value drivers in FMCG business, enriched through global accountabilities. He is enthusiastic in approaching business-wide challenges from multiple dimensions and utilize expertise to deliver effective commercial solutions and demonstrated his ability to streamline business operations to achieve top-line growth, increase cost efficiency with bottom line. He is an excellent coach and mentor who has groomed many young professional accountants as business leaders. At present, he serves as the General Manager of Finance, providing finance leadership of Ceylon Biscuits Limited, CBL Exports Limited, and Group's two leading overseas markets in India and West Africa. Prior to associating with CBL, he held local and global finance and supply chain leadership positions in leading local and multinational companies, Coca-Cola, Lion Brewery and Fonterra, which included many foreign assignments to African and Asian regions. Daham underwent his training in Ernst & Young, which was rated among the 4 big audit firms in the world. Daham has contributed to the accountancy profession and professional developments of next generation as a lecturer over 10 years. Currently, he shares his expertise as a visiting lecturer for MSc Applied Finance program of University of Sri Jawatanapura. Daham has had his primary and secondary education from Polegoda Mahavidyalaya and CWW Kannangara Central College at Matugama. Daham got through advanced level with flying colours, which enabled him to enter into the University of Sri Jawatanapura to follow a degree in accountancy and financial management in the Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce. While studying in university, he studied for Chartered Accountancy in CA Sri Lanka and Chartered Institute for Management Accounting, in addition to working in Ernst & Young. Currently, Daham possesses an MBA from the Postgraduate Institute of Management and a BSc in Accountancy and Financial Management from the University of Sri Jawatanapura. He has completed a Management Talent Development Program from Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University, Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Daham is a Fellow of Associations of Accounting Technicians of Sri Lanka. Daham is an Executive Committee member of Industrial Association of Sri Lanka, which is a continuant body of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce. Recently, Daham won the prestigious Best CFO 2022 award from CA Sri Lanka at the 43rd Annual National Conference of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. Daham enjoys inspiring team and individuals to achieve their true potential. Daham has a young family and he is a father of 2. Daham is passionate about creating legacy in all his endeavors.
Good evening. We have Mr. Daham Gunasena, the Finance General Manager at CBL. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you, Prasan, and it's great to be here.
All right, so I'm guessing we're going to discuss a lot today. And to start off now, you have achieved many accolades and you recently won an award which we'll be getting to later on as well. But I'd like to go right to the beginning and start at the beginning of your career. Tell me a bit about this.
Yeah, so I had a humble beginning. I am from Polegoda Mahagama and I initially had my initial education from Polegoda Mahavidyalaya and also from CWW Kannangara Central College Mathugama, and from that I did my A level, and A level I got through its flying colors, and got into the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura to do a degree in accountancy and financial management. So, to talk about this degree in accountancy and financial management, at that time it was the students were selected based on the merit basis, and those who have performed exceptionally well in advanced level only were able to get into that faculty and the department and to follow the degree. So, I was lucky to get into 100 students in the commerce student to be part of that excellent program. And while doing that, I also started doing chartered accountancy at the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. At the same time, I started doing CIMA, Chartered Institute for Management Accounting, which is a United Kingdom UK body. And along with that, I also there was a practical requirement, practical training requirement also. So because of that, I started working in Ernst & Young as audit trainee right at the beginning. So that's how it was started, you know.
Okay, and I'm sure it's not an easy feat to become a general manager of a company in the finance division especially. So from where you started from your school and then moving into the professional and the corporate world, how did you get to becoming the general manager of finance at CBL?
Yeah, so it's, I have over 20 years of experience currently, mainly in the FMCG sector, FMCG industry. I started with the Coca-Cola company, which was the #1 brand at that time, and before taking over by this recently all the tech companies. So it was a proud moment that that I was able to get into the Coca-Cola company, and I have had many leadership positions in Africa as well as in Asia, and it was a quite diverse experience that I have had, especially working in African markets. At times it was a painful exercise, but all the success, the main success factor was behind me was understanding the consumer and the creation, the value creation for the consumers. Then from Coca-Cola, I joined with Lion Brewery, again another local leading company in the category, and it's a public listed company in the Colombo Stock Exchange. Thereafter, from Lion Brewery, I joined with Fonterra Brands Lanka, again a New Zealand based multinational company, again the market leader in the milk powder category. So at Fonterra, I was the financial controller and looking after supply chain and operations as the finance business partner. So with that, recently about 3 years ago, I joined with Ceylon Biscuits Limited as the general manager finance, and I give finance leadership to Ceylon Biscuits Limited, which is located in Pannipitiya, and also CBL Exports Limited, which is located in Avissavella. In addition to that, we have group has two overseas leading markets in India and also Ghana, West Africa. So those two markets also I give finance leadership.
Okay, now I'm sure that being a CFO of a company and winning the award for the best CFO takes a lot of work, and you need a lot of experience and a lot of attributes to be presented that award, and you were presented the award. You're the winner of Best CFO Award from CA Award Sri Lanka. Tell me about how you managed to get this award and the experience that you gained from different companies. Has it helped you to get this award?
Yeah. So first I must thank for CA Sri Lanka, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, for coming up with this great initiative to recognize and appreciate and recognize the CFOs, the efforts and the contribution that they make to the individuals and also to the organization and also overall to the society. So I believe it's a great initiative, and so I would like to thank CA President and the Vice President and also the Council as well as Chief Executive Officer of CA Sri Lanka for initiating it. First time I think it's a professional body has done that in Sri Lanka. So talking about the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, it has been incorporated in 1959 and has over 6 decades. Its presence in Sri Lanka has done a yeoman service to the upliftment of yeoman service to the accounting profession. So it has over 7,900 members currently, and also over 30,000 student base as of now. And so I believe that this award will inspire many CFOs in Sri Lanka as well as many young emerging professionals also. So talking about the award and the attributes or the qualities that would have helped me, I think the main one would be I would like to, there are many, but I would like to highlight few. I think as a CFO you need to think strategically, like CEO or Chief Executive Officer or a Managing Director of the company. And there are instances where you need to think beyond CEO or Managing Director of the company as well. So when you wear that business hat, it is easy to be relevant, and that is the philosophy that I have been following, and that has helped me, and that is why I am successful.
Okay.
Yeah. The second reason is I have been able to transform the finance divisions or the division that I am working, and also the places that I have worked. The finance traditionally gives you historical information, and from historical information or the division that provide information, I have transformed that division that provide insight and foresights for the business to make decisions, and also I have changed the attitude and look and also the approach of the entire finance team, so that they can with this insight and foresight that they have, they can go and work with the rest of the functions within the organization as well as with the external parties to create value and to make an impact in the organization. So that's the difference that I have brought in especially in Ceylon Biscuits Limited. The third criteria is I have been enjoying right throughout my career developing young professionals to the next level, and I have brought them to the levels that they have even never imagined to. So in that case I have greater satisfaction, and I'm proud to say that I would all the places that I have worked, and even my current place, I have groomed the people in the best possible way that I can. And the last point is I think it is the strategic leadership that I have given, and strategy development and also strategy implementation side, be it be going into a new geography, be it be going to a new market, be it be getting into a new products, you launch a new product, or going for a new innovations. I've been given the finance strategic leadership whenever it is required for all these initiatives. For example, in CBL, we embarked, we put our flag in West African countries. So I gave the finance leadership, and still I am leading that team, and also in India. So that way I think that is the contribution that we make to the organization that we work, and also to the country.
Okay, that's great actually. Now when it comes to achieving these feats, now you mentioned that you have done so much for all the companies that you have worked in, and you've given back to the community as well. is educational qualifications, does it have a big role to play in when it comes to developing these attributes? Because nowadays in modern society, a lot of you as well, you are chasing educational qualifications. So it's sort of become like a trend to get up a lot of degrees and masters and all sorts of qualifications. In your opinion, do you think that this has helped you a lot, or do you believe that the same thing could have been done without these qualifications?
That's a great question, especially for young emerging professionals, Prashant. And it has a great impact. So a qualification give you a different skill set, and I would say, especially when it's come to professional qualifications will transform the person to be expert in the profession through practical training and education. So that is the difference.
Okay.
So, and since you talk about the qualifications, so it is good to be expert in one particular area, and also nowadays it is required to have more than one discipline, more than one qualifications also is highly demanded in an organization when you are getting into. Why I am saying like that is, say for example, if I am a finance professional, good to be expert in my profession, that is accounting and finance, but at the same time there's a tremendous demand not only in finance, across the business, all functions and everywhere for automation. So that digital savviness, digital transformation ability is a skill that you need to develop. So because of that, I would say, if you are a finance professional, why not you go for a qualification in information technology, because this data gives us greater insights, amazing insights about the consumer, especially in FMCG sector. So my advice is to be, try to be expert, at the same time try to be versatile, so have one or more skills, so that will enlarge your, expand your opportunities, and it will be added advantage when you get into the corporate world. However, you must remember that it is when you get into the corporate world, it is, in order to be relevant, you have to upskill and reskill yourself. And that's a very, very important thing, and you have to have that learning agility to learn, unlearn and relearn in order to be relevant and also to be future ready.
So you can't just get a qualification or learn something and then think that's it. You have to keep on updating yourself.
Exactly. On daily basis, it's learning, unlearning and relearning, and upskilling, reskilling is a must. And you need to do it daily basis, and there are a lot of tools that you can use. There are a lot of free educational tools that are available also. So you need to get engaged in all these and up your game on daily basis, otherwise in order to be relevant in the industry.
Okay, that's actually great advice. Thank you. And after your educational qualifications, when you were entering the corporate world, what made you specialize in the FMCG sector? Was there something about that sector which drew you towards it? What was the reason behind that?
Yeah, I mean, when I talk about FMCG sector, it is a sector that I love and like, so, and even if you go look at most of the goods that you consume at home, and most of the things are delivered by the FMCG industry. So as for me, so FMCG industry stands for fast moving consumer goods. So if you take the first two letters of the word, F and M stand for fast moving. So fast moving is meaning that you need to be fast and quick, and also it is dynamic and it is rapidly changing. So you got to be up your game day in, day out, and every day you have to make sure that you are there with, ready to deliver the organizational goals. So in that case, this dynamism, the excitement in FMCG industry is something that I love. So that's one reason. Then if you take CG part, that is consumer goods. So that is you need to understand, you need to have deep understanding about the consumer in order to be relevant in this industry. And you need to have good understanding about the consumer, you need to have good understanding about the market. And you cannot take decisions by looking at your top line, bottom line mentality, and it is the consumer is the most important. So that also one of the things that I love and like, so creating value for the consumer is something that I am passionate about. So that's another reason. And the other one is FMCG industry is very attractive business for global players, so as it's for local players. If you look at industry that I am in, biscuit industry, and it is open for there are about 50, more than 50 players in the industry. So the competition is going to remain, and very high competition, and it is going to remain. So in order to be relevant in the industry as a professional or as an organization, we need to keep on innovating, and also we need to keep on upskilling, and we need to be best in class if we are to be competitive in this industry. So that's another reason why I like this industry.
Okay, and speaking about the FMCG industry in Sri Lanka, what are some of the challenges you're facing in this industry, and what have you done to, or what are you doing to overcome them?
Yeah, so needless to say that we all know that we are going through a crisis in country, and also in the world also there is a recession, economic recession. So there are many challenges that we do have, but I would like to highlight few. The first one is low affordability, or the consumer affordability is coming down significantly. Second one is supply chain disruptions. The third one is high inflation and high interest cost. So if talking about affordability, needless to say that in a country like Sri Lanka, our consumers do have a fixed income. So when the goods, the prices with the hyperinflationary situation going up, their real income is coming down, so affordability has an impact, so as the businesses also getting impacted. Number two is about supply chain disruption. Starting from COVID-19 and pandemic, we have seen series of supply chain disruptions, and now we have a different challenge, and Russia invading UK, so there's a war between Russia and Ukraine, and these two countries have given 10 to 15% of commodities to the world, and especially our part of the world. So we have been impacted, and also recently the government also imposed, because of, in order to control the trade and economy, there were some restriction that came in on the import. So that from that side also there is a challenge that we have. The third one is on the inflation, needless to say, because with the currency devaluation, exchange rate, and also the commodity prices in the world market going up, we had a this sort of a inflation, and interest rate has a significant impact on the business, especially on the operating cost and also bottom line impact. So those are the impacts, but at the same time I see every crisis will give you a great opportunity also. So we should not give up or never the hope, so still we have, we need to remodel our business and look for, we need to, especially FMCG sector now strongly look at to ensure and expand their global presence, and also need to go and see, the look at end-to-end value chain starting from supplier to the end consumer, value, non-value adding activities and inefficiencies. We need to get away and make sure that we provide an affordable product in the best possible way to our consumer.
Right. That's some great advice and a lot of insight into the FMCG sector, as well as when it comes to educational qualifications as well. I'm sure that many of you have gained a lot of knowledge on this program. That was Mr. Daham Gunasena, the General Manager of Finance at CBL. Thank you so much for being a part of today's program.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And that winds up today's episode of Business Today. Do join us next week as well. Till then, have a good night.